multiplying and dividing rational expressions is really similar to simplifying. So your first step, just like with before, is to factor everything, looking for GCFs. If it's multiplication, you just keep going. If it's division, don't forget that you have to keep, change, flip. So keep the first fraction the same, change the division to multiplication, and flip the second fraction to be its reciprocal. Then you can cancel the matching terms as long as one comes from the numerator and one comes from the denominator. Now, the most important thing here when you're multiplying and dividing, these are the easier ones. You do not need a common denominator. And that's probably the mistake that a lot of people made on the last quiz, was that you were finding common denominators when you didn't need to. That's going to make your problem really messy and ugly if you make a common denominator for multiplying or dividing. So don't do that. So here's an example of one that's division. Multiplication would work the same way. We just don't need that keep, change, flip step. So when we do this, remember we're going to first look for all the factorizations of the numerators and denominators. So this first one, x squared plus 8x minus 20, we need it to multiply to negative 20 and add to positive 8. That's going to be x plus 10 and x minus 2. In the denominator, I can only take out a GCF, which is going to be 3x times x plus 2. That one we keep the same. We change the division to multiplication. Then we're going to make the second fraction the reciprocal. So I'm really going to factor the denominator first. Multiplies to 10 and adds to 7 would be positive 2 and positive 5. And then again, we're flipping this fraction. That numerator is a difference of 2 squares. It's going to switch down to the denominator, so this will be x plus 2 and x minus 2. Okay, couple of things to notice here. One, when you've got multiplication, which also means for a division problem once you've got it flipped, you can cross cancel and you can cancel up and down, but you can only make a pair of one from the top and one from the bottom. For example, this x plus 2 can only cancel with one of the x plus 2's. This other one has to stay unless there was another x plus 2 in the numerator. Okay, the x minus 2's can also cancel. The other thing you want to notice is you cannot cancel side to side. I know I mentioned that before, but that's really, really important. Only up and down. So quick scan. Do we have anything else? No. So that means we just write out what we have left. We're going to multiply straight across. X plus 10 times x plus 5 over 3x times x plus 2. And again, it's more simplified to leave it in factored form, so I wouldn't bother trying to do FOIL or anything up there. Plus, remember, if you decide to FOIL it out on the test and what you do is incorrect, whether you were correct at this step or not, the problem's no longer worth full points because you just wrote down something that was mathematically inaccurate. Okay, so that's just something to think about. The only thing that would be different had this been multiplication to start is that we would not have flipped the second one. The process would be the same. Cross cancel, you just wouldn't have flipped it over and you would have come out to the end just exactly the same. Okay?